Welcome back, everybody. President Trump tonight is defending his ban on travelers from 7 Muslim-majority countries.
He says that the move is necessary to keep us safe. And joining us to discuss all of what's gone on the last few days now is McNulty, who is a security and leadership expert from Harvard University, the author of Leadership for a Turbulent World, which seems like a timely title to discuss this tonight. So thanks so much for being here. The basic question, I think, for most people is, will this order make Americans safer?
It's really hard to say. When you look at this, you look at it from two perspectives. One is the content, what's in the order. And we know there are 7 countries involved, which isn't every country that could be involved. It's a subset. It's only 90 days for 6, longer for Syria. But what we know is that because it was put together quickly with a relatively small circle, not as fully vetted as it might have been, it's going to be tied up in the courts for months, years, maybe already been thrown out today. So that doesn't make us any safer. Then you look at execution. And when you execute things well, you win. Who taught us that? Coach Belichick. We're here on the eve of the Super Bowl, right? We're in Patriots Nation. When you execute well, you win, and when you don't, you lose. And we've seen a real series of missteps over the weekend where they had to walk the policy back. You have people rioting in the streets by tens of thousands. You have people stuck midair coming into the country. It's better to do something simple and do it well. That sends the right signal to the bad guys. When you misstep, they get encouraged.
Do your job.
Exactly. The president has had a little blowback from within his own party. Senators McCain and Graham have said potentially they think this could make us less safe, that it would serve as a recruiting tool for extremist groups. Do you see that being the case, or do you say maybe there is a case for a pause here? In 2011, we had a pause of refugees from Iraq. Is there a case to be made on that side there?
Well, there are two separate things here. Again, it's part of how you go about doing it. Can we improve the vetting procedures? I don't know all the details, but I bet we can. You can improve pretty much anything, and that's a smart thing to do. And no one's going to oppose President Trump in wanting to make our vetting process and admission process more secure. On the other hand, when you show what we've done, where we're fighting amongst ourselves, where he's done it in a way that is very broad brush across whole populations, that does feed into the ISIS narrative of America at war with Islam. And that's not the smartest way to go about it.
It's interesting here. We're talking about refugees from Syria being indefinitely banned. And then the other 6 countries, it's a 90-day situation while they try to work on a better vetting process. For people who voted for Donald Trump, and like when he talks about America first, is he trying to apply that thinking to a broader policy that the globe is not going to respond well to?
Well, and again, I think that our allies would be happy if we have secure borders. Again, secure but fairly implemented. And one of the questions I would have, and the Trump supporters should be asking, is they've been talking about this for a long time. They should have had something pulled together of how they would improve the vetting procedures, not just get here and say, oh, let's look and figure it out. Because that's... Again, when you do these things and you do them in a confused way, that does encourage our enemies, not discourage them from thinking they can pull off something that's bad.
Do you see issues with the vetting process as it currently stands? Typically, it takes 18 to 24 months for someone to get in. It can be much longer than that. Are there ways that we can improve it as far as you're concerned?
I'm sure there are. Again, I don't know all the details of it. I do know if I were one of the bad guys, I would not be looking to sneak people in through the 18-month pipeline when you could bring them in through Europe without a visa. You could bring them in from any number of countries with a shorter pipeline. When you feed them in that long pipeline, there's any change in that process could slip them up. So it wouldn't be the first place you'd go put people. Again, I'm sure there's ways we can improve that vetting process, but it's been looked at over and over again. And when they did have the pause back during the Obama years, they improved it then. And we'll only see over time. But I think it's very rigorous now at 18 months.
So as we stand here tonight, the Attorney General has said she will not defend these cases in court, will not defend the administration, and we see where we go from here. So McNulty from Harvard, thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate it.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. We got some snow.